If you're moving to Charleston from out of state and your dream is to live near the beach, the good news is you actually have several great options. The challenge is that each beach community here has a very different personality, price point, and lifestyle. Charleston's coastline is made up of barrier islands, which means that true beachfront living is very limited. Unlike some coastal cities that stretch for miles, Charleston really only has a handful of true beach towns where people live full-time. Because of that, demand for these areas is extremely high and home prices tend to reflect that. While there are several coastal communities in the region, the three closest beach towns to downtown Charleston, Sullivan's Island, Isle of Palms, and Folly Beach, are usually where most full-time buyers begin their search. There are also two additional beaches farther south, Kiowa Island and Seabrook Island, but with them being outside of what most people consider the Charleston area, I decided to leave them out for today's conversation. If you're not from here and you're trying to make the most informed decision possible when buying beachfront, give me a call and I'd be happy to walk you through which area would best suit you. Another thing many out-of-state buyers don't initially realize is that barrier island living can come with slightly different ownership costs than living on the mainland. Homes closer to the water may require flood insurance and wind coverage, which can impact the overall cost of ownership. That doesn't stop people from buying on the islands, but it is something buyers should understand before deciding which area fits them best. Before we dive into each location, the easiest way to think about these beaches is by lifestyle. Sullivan's Island is the most private and residential. Isle of Palms offers the most resort-style amenities and property variety. Folly Beach has the most relaxed beach town personality, and Mount Pleasant is the option many buyers choose when they want beach access, but also more space, convenience, and everyday amenities. Now let's walk through each one of them so you can see which one might fit your lifestyle best. The first option, and easily the most exclusive, is Sullivan's Island. Sullivan's Island is widely considered one of the most desirable places to live in the Charleston area, and one of the most sought-after beach communities in the southeast. It sits just across the harbor from downtown Charleston, and is typically about 20 to 30 minutes away depending on traffic. What makes Sullivan's Island so special is how quiet and residential it feels. Unlike many beach towns, there are no large resorts, no high-rise condos, and very little commercial development. The island is made up almost entirely of beautiful beach homes tucked under massive oak trees and palmettos. There's a small restaurant district near the middle of the island with a handful of well-known spots that locals love, but outside of that, the island feels incredibly peaceful and private. The beaches here are wide and natural, and because development has remained relatively limited over the years, Sullivan's Island has kept a very authentic coastal feel. One of the biggest advantages of living here is proximity to downtown Charleston. You can leave your house, cross the bridge, and be in the historic district within minutes. That means easy access to some of the best restaurants, shopping, and nightlife in the southeast. For someone who wants beach living but still wants to enjoy downtown regularly, that convenience is a major advantage. The trade-off, of course, is price. Sullivan's Island is one of the most expensive housing markets in the Charleston region. Over the last 12 months, the median home price has been around $4.3 million, and many homes sell well above that depending on the size and proximity to the ocean. Oceanfront properties can climb dramatically higher than that range. Inventory is also extremely limited because the island is small, and many homes stay within families for generations. Another thing that buyers should know is that Sullivan's Island is very quiet. Some people absolutely love that, but if you're looking for lots of activity or nightlife right outside your door, you'll probably find yourself driving to Mount Pleasant or downtown Charleston more often than not. For buyers coming from California, Sullivan's Island often reminds people of places like La Jolla or Del Mar, beautiful coastal communities where homes are incredible and the lifestyle is very peaceful. The second option many buyers consider is Isle of Palms. Isle of Palms sits directly next to Sullivan's Island and offers a slightly different beach lifestyle. Where Sullivan's Island feels more like a quiet residential village, Isle of Palms feels more like a classic resort beach town. The island is larger, the beaches are extremely wide, and there's a much broader mix of housing options. You'll find everything from oceanfront estates to beachfront condos to golf course homes. One of the defining features of Isle of Palms is the Wild Dunes Resort. Wild Dunes is a gated oceanfront community on the eastern side of the island that includes golf courses, tennis facilities, restaurants, and miles of beachfront. Because of this, Isle of Palms attracts a mix of full-time residents, second homeowners, and vacation property investors. One important thing that buyers should know about Isle of Palms is that the city allows short-term rentals in many parts of the island. Because of that, some buyers purchase homes or condos here as second homes that they also rent out part of the year. In certain situations, that rental income can offset a meaningful portion of the ownership costs, especially during peak vacation seasons when demand along the Charleston coast is extremely strong. In fact, I'm actually putting together a separate video that breaks down the real numbers showing how, in some cases, buying a property on Isle of Palms can end up being more affordable than other beach markets once rental income is factored in. So if that's something you're curious about, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for that video because it's going to walk through exactly how those numbers can work. The lifestyle here revolves heavily around the water. Boating is extremely popular because the island sits between the Atlantic Ocean and the Intercoastal Waterway. Many homes have deep water docks or quick access to marinas. The beaches are also some of the widest and most beautiful in the Charleston area. Over the last 12 months, the median home price on Isle of Palms has been roughly $2.6 million, although oceanfront homes and luxury properties can easily reach several million dollars higher than that. Condos provide a more attainable entry point on the island, with many starting around $800,000 to $1 million depending on the building and proximity to the beach, while luxury oceanfront condos can climb significantly higher. Because the island has a resort component, it tends to see more visitors during peak seasons compared to Sullivan's Island. But for many buyers, that energy and activity is actually part of the appeal. The third beach option is Folly Beach. Folly Beach has a completely different personality than the other two islands. Where Sullivan's Island feels quiet and upscale, and Isle of Palms has more of a resort atmosphere, Folly Beach is Charleston's laid-back surf town. It sits about 20 minutes south of downtown Charleston and is connected by a single road that winds through beautiful marshes and tidal creeks. Folly has always had a relaxed and slightly quirky personality. It's popular with surfers, artists, musicians, and people who enjoy a casual beach lifestyle. The main street through town, Center Street, is filled with beach bars, restaurants, surf shops, and small local businesses. During weekends in the summer months, the area can feel lively and energetic. One of the things that makes Folly unique is the Washout, which is one of the most well-known surf spots in South Carolina. But the island also has quieter residential areas with oceanfront homes, marshfront properties, and neighborhoods tucked away from the main commercial strip. The biggest advantage to Folly Beach is that it's the closest beach to downtown Charleston. You can go from Sand to the historic district in roughly 20 minutes. For buyers who want to combine beach living with frequent trips to downtown for restaurants, nightlife, and culture, that proximity is extremely attractive. The median home price on Folly Beach is usually around $1.3 to $1.5 million. The smaller homes and older properties may sometimes fall slightly below that range, while oceanfront homes can be significantly higher. The trade-offs with Folly are mostly lifestyle related. It can be busier in the summer, and because the island is smaller, there are fewer everyday conveniences compared to living in a larger suburban area. Still, Folly remains one of the most unique beach communities in the Charleston area. Now here's something interesting. A large percentage of buyers who initially come to Charleston thinking they want to live directly on the beach actually end up choosing this next option instead. That option is Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant isn't technically a beach town, but it sits directly between downtown Charleston and the two northern beaches, Sullivan's Island and Isle of Palms. From many neighborhoods in Mount Pleasant, you can reach the beach in about 10 to 15 minutes. The reason this becomes attractive to so many buyers is the value and convenience. Because Mount Pleasant is on the mainland rather than a barrier island, homes there often offer significantly more space, newer construction, and a much wider range of price points. Over the past 12 months, the median home price, including condos and townhomes across Mount Pleasant, has been around $950,000, which is still significantly less than the island communities. That price difference often means buyers can get a newer home, more square footage, and a larger yard while still living just minutes from the beach. Mount Pleasant is also one of the most developed and convenient areas in the Charleston region. The town has some of the highest rated public schools in the Lowcountry, which is one of the main reasons families choose to live there. There are also tons of grocery stores, shopping centers, restaurants, medical offices, gyms, and parks throughout the area. Shem Creek is one of the most popular waterfront areas in Charleston and sits right in Mount Pleasant. It's known for its restaurants, bars, and views of shrimp boats coming in and out of the harbor. For most parts of Mount Pleasant, you're typically about 15 to 20 minutes from downtown Charleston via the Ravenel Bridge, which means you have easy access to some of the best dining and nightlife in the southeast. That combination of beach access, strong schools, everyday conveniences, and proximity to downtown makes Mount Pleasant one of the most popular places to live in the entire Charleston region. And from a real estate perspective, it often provides significantly more value compared to buying directly on one of the islands. So if you're moving to Charleston and you're looking for the best beach lifestyle, the decision usually comes down to the type of environment that you want. If you want the most exclusive and peaceful beach community with close proximity to downtown, Sullivan's Island is the premium option. If you want a resort-style beach town with a wider mix of properties and amenities, Isle of Palms is a great choice. If you prefer a laid-back surf town atmosphere with unique personality, Folly Beach might be the perfect fit. And if you want the best combination of beach access, convenience, strong schools, and housing value, Mount Pleasant often becomes the smartest compromise. Charleston's coastline is unique because each of these communities offers something slightly different, and understanding those differences is the key to finding the right place to live. If you're thinking about moving to Charleston and want help figuring out which beach area might be the best fit for you, feel free to reach out. I also see more properties before they officially hit the market than most agents in Charleston, and as part of the Sean Cleary team, we often have access to opportunities before they become widely available. So if you're curious about off-market opportunities or just want a clearer picture of what's available along the coast, I'd be happy to help.